All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the new episode of NFT Talk. And today we're going to go over the top NFTs right now on OpenSea. So right now it is November 14th, 10:22 Pacific time. Things move fast. NFTs move a little slower than crypto in general, but let's really review the top sort of projects on OpenSea, and it's kind of like dive into why they're valuable, right? So number one, why can an NFT be popular? And this is only my subjective opinion, right? So take this with a grain of salt. If you have any more input, just please let me know. Anyways, so what makes an NFT very popular? So right now, number one is CryptoPunks. Okay, so you might ask, okay, based on this chart, according to OpenSea, why is this project number one? And this is my sort of thesis, and it's because it's the first to market, right? And I think there's been stuff that's been made or minted before CryptoPunks, but this one in particular is super popular, right? So if you go to CryptoPunks on the wiki page, it says right here that CryptoPunks was released in June of 2017 as one of the first non-fungible tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. The project was developed by American studio Larva Labs, a two-person team consisting of Canadian software developers Matt Hall and John Watkinson. So again, they're the first to market or one of the very first to market on the Ethereum blockchain back in 2017, and this whole craze of NFTs have been really developed or really brought out into like 2020, 2021, heading into 2022. Right now, there's a huge craze in CryptoPunks. Maybe 4 years ago, I never heard about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have not heard about it, and maybe that's why it's number one. It's an OG. It's an OG project, and that's probably why it's super valuable right now because it's the very first NFT to be minted, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, you can think back. I'm trying to think of like an analogy, right? Like I don't know, if you fly out to Mars and you bring back like a rock, for example, there can be thousands and millions of rocks on Mars, but if you were to bring the first rock onto Earth and then sell it, you can kind of treat that as a huge sort of, I guess, artifact of human civilization, and the first rock to be brought onto Earth can be super valuable, even though it's just a rock. And 100 years down the line, maybe we can go to Mars and stamp our ground and have a civilization, and you can collect your own rocks that will be valuable. Like that would not be valuable at all. But the fact that you're getting the first rock from Mars to Earth is the reason why it's super valuable. It's the first to market, right? Same thing with CryptoPunks. One of the very first CryptoPunks or NFT projects to be onto market. Now let's kind of look into what the very first NFT projects were. I think there's this one like it's kind of like a rock. So first NFT projects, because remember, CryptoPunks is definitely not the first one, right? So let's see. Supposedly there's a project back in 2015 built on the Ethereum blockchain, but what is the name of it? All right, let's dive into NFT history if we can find it. Okay. So as a matter of fact, there might be some NFTs that were funded or minted in 2011, right? And who knows how much these are worth, right? But it's saying that according to Onus.io, that there's some NFTs that were minted in 2011, right? And I think in 2014, that's when Bitcoin, like 2013, 12, that's when Bitcoin really got super popular, or got, I guess more popular, because I think in the past couple of years, it's been going mainstream, right? And CryptoPunks was the catalyst, I think, in my opinion, of what made NFTs super popular, right? Maybe it was the art itself. It could have been a whole number of factors that made it number one on OpenSea, right? There's also Kitties, which is a huge phenomenon that was actually launched in 2017 as well, and it was a game where you could kind of collect cats with their own characteristics on the blockchain, and to mate them, you can actually mate them to create new unique cats, and then inherit some of the characteristics of their parents. So that's pretty cool, and they're pretty expensive too, and they're definitely top 10. I'll show you later. They're definitely top 10 on OpenSea. Um, but yeah, that goes to show like I'm not seeing much about what projects have been sort of minted back in 2011, but there's some really cool stuff that if you can see on the history of NFTs, like what were the first ones to be actually minted, and the first ones will probably be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Um, but yeah, 2017 CryptoPunks. They're saying here that in 2012, 2013, there were colored coins, right? And so I'm just reading this off the blog.portion.io website, and it's saying that the idea of NFTs emerged from what is called a colored coin, initially issued on the Bitcoin blockchain in 2012 and 2013. Colored coins are tokens that represent real world assets on the blockchain and can be used to prove ownership of any asset, from precious metals to cars to real estate, even equities and bonds. Although not as sophisticated, this original idea was to use the Bitcoin blockchain for assets like digital collectibles, coupons, property, company shares, and more. They were described as new technology and gave raw possibilities for the future prospects of utilization. So that was the start of NFTs, but built on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And then if you fast forward to, let's see, if you fast forward to 2016, 2017, actually in 2016, this is something that's becoming more familiar. The rare peeps on counterparty is kind of like a frog, that meme frog that you see. So let's kind of read this passage right here. In 2016, memes entered the blockchain. In October of 2016, memes started to make their way into the counterparty platform. People started to add assets to a popular meme called Rare Peeps. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Rare Peeps are a meme featuring an interesting frog character that has acquired an intense fan base over the years. What started out to be a comic character named Peep the Frog now has steadily become an internet sensation as one of the most popular memes. Yes, we've seen this meme so many times across social media, Reddit, etc. By early 2017, with Ethereum gaining prominence, Rare Peeps started to trade it there as well. Portion's founder, Jason Rosenstein, along with Lewis Parker, ran the first live Rare Peep auction, which has held at the inaugural Rare Digital Art Festival. Crypto art was born with the Rare Peep wallet, and it was the first time creators around the world could submit and sell their own artwork. It was the first time digital art could have intrinsic value. You know what? After reading this passage, that really makes me think how important memes are. And it goes across so many different industries, not just NFTs, just from reading off this. So you're telling me, like, from this one passage, and I need to cross-check it, but from this one passage, it just makes me think, like, okay, memes are super popular because, number one, not only of, like, the actual humor that is behind it, but the message that it's demonstrating, right? And it is super liquid in terms of virality that you can send it, and it's going to be shared across 10 different people, and it's only going to be exponentially growing in terms of how fast it's being shared because of how funny and how we kind of connect to it, right? And so I guess that was the catalyst of what made NFTs super popular. This meme, which was in 2016, and then by early 2017 or 2017, we see the rise of CryptoPunks and Kitties, and then so on and so forth. All these different projects going on, right? So we kind of dove into a loophole, but I think that was very important because we saw how memes are important and kind of like the back history of NFTs, right? So now let's go on to OpenSea and see what are the top popular projects. Again, there are hundreds or thousands of NFTs out there, but let's kind of concentrate on number one, CryptoPunks. Number two right now is Bored Ape Yacht Club, and three is Decentraland, and this is on the all-time charts by volume, right? Actually, as a matter of fact, let's go top five. Number three is Decentraland. Number four is Mutant Ape Yacht Club, right? That's really interesting. Number five is Rarible, which is like another NFT platform. And six is Meebits. Seven is Loot. 8 is Kitties. 9, Decentral Wearables. 10 is Cool Cats NFT. There you have it. Top 10 right there. Now again, on my consensus, I think CryptoPunks, is number one, based on the fact that it's kind of like the first, or one of the very first NFT projects to be built on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, okay, what about Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? And sorry, before I even move on to Bored Ape Yacht Club, again, this is what I think. CryptoPunks is number one because it was first to market, and again, on that analogy of like a rock from Mars going onto Earth, right? It's gonna be super valuable because it is the first, right? Um, Now moving on to Bored Ape Yacht Club. This was actually minted in 2001. So according to golden.com, it's a wiki page created by Yuga Labs and website launched on April 30th, 2001. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is a collection of 10,000 unique digital NFT digital collectible ape avatars. An NFT, otherwise known as non-fungible token, acts as a deed of ownership for a digital item, allowing the purchaser to prove that they own the one and only version of that image. In this case, one holds ownership of an illustration of a bored-looking ape, each featuring different attributes and styles. No two images are alike, and each bored ape is randomly generated over 1 to 70 possible traits, which include expressions, headwear, clothing, and much more. Right? And this was, the website was launched in April 30th, 2001. Right? And what was the cost to mint this? So, the apes are stored as tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. Owning a sought-after NFT unlocks exclusive membership to Bored Ape Yacht Club, with each ape costing 0.08 ETH, which at the time was an estimated to be $245. All 10,000 apes have the same flat price of 0.08 ETH, with no price ramps, as a way to promote fairness and equality amongst all members and fair distribution. Now that is crazy, and this is why. So to mint it was 0.08 ETH, and guess what the floor is as of this moment? The floor for Bored Ape Yacht Club is 41.9 ETH. Now that's a lot of freaking cheddar. Okay, and that really begs the question. Okay, so if we have Bored Ape Yacht Club, which was minted in 2001, as number 2 in the OpenSea top NFTs list, why is it number 2 based on value after 4 years of CryptoPunks being launched? Why is it? Is it the art? Is there some sort of intrinsic value? Is there some sort of utility? What is it? What is it? Because it's not the first NFT. It wasn't the first to market. Maybe it did something differently. Okay, let's kind of dive into that. Let's look at the membership benefits according to this page at golden.com. Purchasing a Bored Ape doubles as Yacht Club membership card and grants one access to all member-only benefits. Right? The first benefit being offered is access to the bathroom. I don't know what that is, but that's what it's called. A collaborative graffiti board where members can paint 1 pixel every 15 minutes. Over time, benefits and offerings will increase as new goals are accomplished along the roadmap outlined on the website. In addition to membership perks, full ownership and commercial usage rights are given to the owner of the Bored Ape NFT. The NFT can use, copy, and display the purchased art, or really make any creative pieces of work that stem from the NFT, even sell it, right? So you have full ownership of these NFTs, and you're part of this membership. And literally, last couple of weeks, there's like an event in New York City where only you can go if you owned an Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, and you're seeing that all the celebrities are kind of like copying these and buying it and rocking it out. And I think one NBA player literally had one of their Bored Ape Yacht NFTs in their freaking NBA shoe, and it was viral, And so so you can say number 1, CryptoPunks is there because it's one of the first ones into market. Number 2, Bored Ape Yacht Club, you can say because you can say the art, you can say the community, but plus the utility of it. Maybe it's one of the first sort of NFT projects to really have that sort of utility where people can not just have art, but be part of a membership, right? So that's that, right? Now let's look at number 3. Number 3 is Decentraland, and I think for the past couple of weeks, again, today's November 14th, 2021, and the past couple of weeks, Decentraland has gotten a lot of eyeballs, and that's because the Mecca Verse has been talked about so much, especially during when Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook changed his brand name of Facebook to Meta. And this whole transition of, or the prospect of a metaverse is going berserk. And just a lot of a lot of cryptocurrencies, a lot of projects that are working on this, including like Decentraland. Of course, you got Meta, you have Engine Coin, you have Sandbox, you have Axie Infinity, and the list goes on and on and on. Now let's kind of click on Decentraland on OpenSea, and you can see that the NFTs that they're selling are parcels of land on Decentraland. So for example, I'm just going to click on a random one, right? If you aren't going to watch this video, again, this is going to go on YouTube so you can get a good depiction of what I'm looking at right here. But I'm looking at one parcel of, I think parcel is like a piece of land that you can get on Decentraland. And literally the minimum bid, well, someone put it for 10 ETH, which is $47,000. But if I want to buy one right now, it's going to cost, I can buy one right now for like 0.75 ETH, 2.9, 3 ETH, just for parcels of land. So let's kind of get a better understanding on what Decentraland is. So Decentraland is an Ethereum blockchain-powered virtual world developed and owned by its users who can create, experience, and monetize content and applications. Join a growing community of virtual world inhabitants who are building the world's largest alternative reality economy on the blockchain. In this store, you can buy and sell land assets in Mana, MANA, DCL's native currency. So they're creating the metaverse, and you can literally buy land, you can monetize it, you can build applications in this metaverse. And that's what they're doing, and it's number 3 project on OpenSea. Now that's incredible, what they're doing. Number 4, you have Mutant Yacht Club, which I believe is, if you own the original Bored Ape Yacht Club, then you can get a variant, or I think you're airdropped a Mutant Ape Yacht Club. And the floor price at this moment is 6.47 ETH, right? So the Mutant Ape Yacht Club is it's a collection of up to 20,000 mutant apes that can be created by exposing an existing Bored Ape to a vial of mutant serum, or by minting a mutant ape in the public sale. So you could have minted this. I was wrong. But another way was to expose an existing mutant ape to a vial of mutant serum. I don't know how that works, but they're doing some crazy stuff with this project, and the floor price on this is 6.47 ETH. And I think with this too, you can also have access to certain things, right? Number 5, Rarible. Now, Rarible is its own NFT platform that sells like thousands and thousands of other NFT projects, or mints, rather. So let's kind of read on what it is. There's no floor price, but you can create and sell digital collectibles secured with blockchain technology. Rarible is home to thousands of artists and collectors creating and exchanging immutable art without using code. Trade with Raricoin on OpenSea. So I think it's like another OpenSea, but it's called Rarible, different marketplace. Not going to go much into there. But number 6, I'm going to go into Meebits, because this is something that really introduced me into what's that called? Into NFTs. It's one of the first ones where I saw like this market, or its floor price really go up in value. So it's kind of going to Meebits, and I know they made like a 3D version. Also, this is the 3D version, but they have another 2D version, which was like the OG one. So Meebits, there are 20,000 unique 3D voxel characters created by a custom generative algorithm, then registered on the Ethereum blockchain. And the floor price right now is 3.7 ETH. But there's another one that's kind of like a brother of this project. So let's go to Meebits. Because that's the 3D version. Let's go to the bits. I forgot the name of it. I can't find it. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, and then another interesting project that I see a lot that I haven't really dove into is Mecca Verse, which is number 17. The floor price is 1.89 ETH. And there's so many more projects to get into, but just really diving into the top 5, top 6 projects on OpenSea and why they're popular. Number 1, again, CryptoPunks. Why? Because maybe they're the first to market in 2017, right? Going back to the analogy of a rock on Mars being being brought back to Earth, being the first rock, right? And then you have Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is like they brought a utility. They have a really dope artwork, a strong community, right? So you can say that that's why they're number 2, even though it was just created in 2021. Now you have Decentraland, where the metaverse is a huge discussion. It's a huge, huge discussion. And now they're selling like actual land on this metaverse. And who knows what can happen if you're a company like, I don't know, Sprite, Coca-Cola, and you own like 10 parcels of land on Decentraland. You can use that for commercial purposes, monetize it, do advertisements, etc., etc. Number 4 is just a spinoff of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's just like the Mutant version of it, right? And then number 5 is another NFT marketplace like OpenSea, where you can buy and sell mint NFTs. And then 6 is Meebits. Now, okay, if you're asking why is Meebits number 6, I guess we can kind of dive into that because I'm kind of curious too. Meebits. Let's look into Meebits. Okay, let's go on their actual website. So again, 20,000 unique 3D characters. All right. So owners of a Meebit are given access to an additional asset pack that include the full 3D model. Use it to render and animate your Meebit, or use it as your avatar in the metaverse. Ooh, metaverse. Look at that word again, right? But when was it made? When was it minted? Let's see. Let's go to a Wikipedia page and see why Meebits is number 1. Or not number 1, but, top 10. Date of launch, May 2021. It's already a top 10 project. That's crazy, right? Let's see. 3D. The launch. Okay. The sell right now. There's actually one Meebit number 8598, that was sold for 420 Ethereum, which is more than $1.4 million at the time of the sale. That's crazy, based on this Pedia page, right? That's crazy. Oh my God. And again, the reason why some are more popular than others in terms of the mints is like how rare the NFT character is. So, for example, if you have a mint or a collection of 10,000 NFTs, if there's one NFT character that has like, I don't know, a blue hat, and no other NFTs have that blue hat, and they have instead like black hats, red hats, but your NFT is the only one that's a blue hat, that makes it a lot more rare. The more rare it is, the higher value it would get, right? So it's really interesting to dive into why these projects are so popular. So let's go on to Twitter and see why Meebits is number 1. Let's kind of get a better dive onto this. So we'll go to Meebits on Twitter, and we see is this even it? Meebits DAO, about 10,000 followers, or they're made by Rarible Labs, which has about 103,000 followers. Actually, am I right about that? No, they're the creators. Oh yeah, they're the okay. Rarible Labs. Again, they're the creators of CryptoPunks, Autoglyphs, and Meebits. So maybe that's why it's the top 10 project Meebits, because they're made by the number 1 project, like the owners and founders, the creators of CryptoPunks, which is number 1. So they probably have a lot of experience what they're doing. And the people who have bought into Meebits were like, hey, these guys who created CryptoPunks, which is the number 1 project, know what they're doing. Therefore, Meebits is going to be super valuable because this number 1 project is valuable. Therefore, this one should be valuable too. A lot of it is speculation, again, on NFTs and cryptocurrencies. So take everything with a grain of salt, of course. Do your due diligence. And we covered the top 6, really top 10 NFT projects on OpenSea. And it's really cool to dive into why these projects are super, super popular. And I guess, buy ones to your discretion. Looking at the history of NFTs. And it's really fun to look into because I think history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And if you can kind of use that, even though it's a young history, maybe use that to make better decisions on your projects, investments, etc., so on and so forth. So with that being said, everyone, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and until the next one, thank you so much.